It was great to have the Champions League back this week. Mbappe got 3 goals, Haaland got 3 goals, Barcelona got thumped for 4. Phew, that was huge. Welcome to the show, the Nutmeg on Guardian TV. My name is Solomon Fowowe, and it's great to have you join us once again. I hope you're all keeping safe, social distancing, wearing your face masks, and following the rules of whatsoever country, states that you are watching from. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and if you're watching on Instagram, follow this page because we have awesome content from Guardian Nigeria for you. Thank you so much. Now, going into the show this week, it's going to be really massive because we have great derbies coming up. Now, we have the Milan derby, that's Inter Milan against AC Milan. We have the Merseyside derby, that's Liverpool against Everton. And also we have the Revere derby in the Bundesliga between Schalke 04 and Borussia Dortmund. And joining me on the show virtually from his base today is Yemi Adesoya, a sports pundit who has had stints on radio and on TV. It's good to have you join us on the show today, Yemi.
Thank you, Solomon. It's been quite an age, and it's good to be on your platform.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yemi. So the Champions League is back, and like I said, I was super excited to have it come back. But for you now, what game were you most excited to see? What impressed you the most over the midweek?
Champions League is always exciting. I'm not a fan of the 2-month break. I'm not a fan of that 2-month break because it kind of disguises the potential of the competition. So you have a knockout round is done in December. I have to wait till February. So a lot of things can change in 2 months. So because of that, I'm not such a big fan of that 2-month break. But I was happy to watch PSG annihilate Barcelona. That was a good game to watch, and it was very refreshing. More like the change of the guard from Messi to Mbappe. And it was also good to see Erling Haaland also respond the following night with a great performance for Dortmund away to Sevilla. Those were the 2 key talking points for me from the return of the Champions League.
Also, over the midweek, we had Tottenham play in the Europa League, and it was quite an easy ride for them, 4-1 against Minos. But it has not papered over the cracks that is in that side, that Tottenham side. We're hearing talks of a breakdown in the dressing room. We're hearing talks of superstars not being comfortable and content in that under the Mourinho setup. And, it brings back, the regular talks of all Mourinho's side, where things break down to such an extent where the team just has to move forward without him. Do you think we're getting to that extent, to that position where, Tottenham has to move on from Mourinho? Do you think Daniel Levy should nip everything in the bud and move on from the Mourinho project?
Now, there are 2 schools of thought when it comes to Jose Mourinho. One school of thought believes, he's there to deliver trophies. Another school of thought, hit him for his quote-unquote style of play. So if I were to measure on both sides, I would say the project is average, so far. It's bang in the middle. And final of one cup competition, they're doing pretty well in the other cup competition. They're in the latter rounds of the FA Cup. They're in the knockout round of the Europa League. So, hey, aside the league position, I think it's an average season so far. Now,
interesting.
A lot of things could be better. Defensively, Spurs are a complete shadow of a Jose Mourinho team. So I'm not sure that Levy should be looking to push the panic button yet. I think if Jose is able to deliver Spurs a trophy at the end of the season, it's one, box ticked out, and then they can look ahead to maybe next season and look at how they can build the team, add a few more signings and see how they can strengthen the team for them to compete. I think at the start of the season, talk of them being title contenders were, a tad premature. So I think we have to still just look at the Jose Mourinho project as Spurs as a work in progress.
Moving over to another Premier League side and kickstarting our preview properly, we have Liverpool against Everton. But you said something about panic buttons. Yes, we're not going to be pressing the panic buttons for Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool side, but it's fair to say that they've not delivered, defending champions, and the way and manner in which they won the Premier League last season. We expected a repeat, at the beginning of this season, but things have not panned out that well, and now they're out of Champions League places, and you expect that this Everton side might want to get their first victory at the Anfield in 22 years, although Everton too have had their own issues. But do you think that this is the best time for them to get, that victory that has eluded them so long?
I think so. I think this is probably the best chance Everton will get to get a result at Anfield. Um, Man for man, you would say yes, the Liverpool team has a lot more quality, but Everton have, they have Carlo Ancelotti. There are very few managers that are better than Carlo Ancelotti. His CV says it. His repertoire of experience, everything is there for all to see. But in terms of mentality, I think Everton still suffer from the fact that, yes, they are Everton. And I think with a bit of work, they will get to that point where they can challenge. I think it's a good opportunity for them to win. I'm not worried about Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. I think Klopp will be fine eventually. They've just been more or less unlucky with the fact that, injuries have come at critical times in the season, and not just normal injuries, long-term injuries. Not many teams have had to be faced with long-term injuries for their key players. Um, Everton will do well to get at least a draw at Anfield. They got a draw in the first installment of the season, even though it was under controversial circumstances. But I think this is a really good time for Everton to nick something from the Merseyside derby. Maybe even be able to win, but then you look at their team, it's a bit disjointed, back-to-back defeats like we mentioned. So that is where I cast my doubts, but it is still a great opportunity for Everton to get 3 points at Anfield. I doubt it will happen. I see more of a draw.
Oh, really, really nice. You expect a draw from that particular one. And moving on to, the biggest game this weekend, that's the Milan derby between Inter Milan and AC Milan. And, what makes this thing, or this derby even more interesting is the midfield between Ibrahimovic and, Romelu Lukaku in this particular one. Inter Milan are top of the league. AC Milan are second, although AC Milan have had a really, really good time, when they were top of the league, but they sort of tailed off for a bit. And now it takes me to, that derby in particular. What do you expect to see in this sort of derby? And to interestingly, Inter their first, AC Milan second, and Juventus that has always, dominated the league in the past few years, they've sort of gone off the ball. So how does this set things up, in the Serie A? And also to add to that question, have you been impressed with the way Antonio Conte has handled the Inter side, so far?
I can't remember the last time both teams were 1-2 going into a derby, aside this season. Milan are in a good place. Young team, just a few, established heads. Inter, on the other hand, all was right on Inter winning the Scudetto this season because Juventus, as far as a lot of people were concerned, are in transition. So it was supposed to be Inter to stroll to the title, but somehow their city rivals, their neighbors, are the ones, picking up the gauntlet and looking at stopping Inter from winning their first title since the treble in 2010. Now, have I been impressed with Conte? Just like Jose Mourinho, I think it's a mixed bag as well. Disappointment in the Champions League, getting knocked out in the group stage, getting knocked out in the cup. Some of the performances have not been excellent, have not been, encouraging. But then you have a manager who knows how to win. I think that is an added ingredient that Inter have. He's a manager that knows how to win. Compared to every other manager in the league, he is one that knows how to win. And I think it's a huge, huge premium he has over every other person. It's good to have this derby becoming important again because at some point it lost its relevance. But it's good to have it, back again. I do hope that the Zlatan Lukaku shenanigans won't come up again. How do you stop a combustible situation with two really big personalities? The potential of them clashing in the box is they probably will be on each other for marking duty on set pieces. So I just hope it doesn't go that way and destroy the potential spectacle because, like it or not, Italian football needs this rivalry, to present a good front for Serie A and also to show that, yes, the league is potentially not a one-team league, with Juventus having won 9 straight titles. So it's a great derby that I'm looking forward to. I think Inter will go in as favorites, especially with what has happened to Milan in the last 3 games. So Inter should be going in as favorites, and I think they're good enough to win.
Thank you so much for talking to us on the show today, Yemi. It's been an absolute pleasure. And hopefully we get to talk to you again. And perhaps when this pandemic is over, we'll get you to the studio to share more of your insights with us.
It's a pleasure. Hopefully, at this pandemic, hopefully, it will be a pleasure of mine to join you in the studio.
That was Yemi Adesina speaking to us. Another great game lined up for this weekend is Manchester City against Arsenal. Arteta going against his former boss, Pep Guardiola, in that one. Will he get one over his former boss? It remains to be seen. So join us on Monday for the review show to find out. Thank you so much for sticking with us so far. My name is Solomon Fowowe, and this has been The Nutmeg.